Namaskaram. Namaskaram, namaskaram, namaskaram. I see the divine in you because I see the divine in myself. Okay, I'm just going to do a check to see whether we are good, whether we can hear me, we can see me properly. Let's see. Okay, go to channel. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to Priya's. I was going to say Priya's podcast, but it's not Priya's podcast. Not yet, anyway. Do I need to clean the camera? It's okay. I think we're good. You can hear and see me. Good. Yay! Happy days, happy days, happy days. Get a nice little ambience going. How is everybody? I hope you're wonderful. One thing I really like about myself is that I love being honest. I love to push myself as much as I can. So when it comes to something like this, for example, going live. So I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. Obviously, I knew that I wanted to go live today, and I also have my satsang on Sunday. So I was trying to decide, what do I want to talk about, because I don't want to talk about something on live and then speak about the same thing in my satsang, even though I know things overlap. Maybe I'm trying to be too controlling over this whole process, because ultimately what I want to talk about, ironically, is about life flowing through you. So when I'm out, okay, that was meant to happen, I guess. Okay, let's just move the candle over again. Okay, yeah. I was reading a book by Robert Adams a while ago, and something he said in there was, you don't need to do anything. You just need to chill out. You just need to be. The body will take care of itself. Your life will take care of itself. You just need to chill, okay? You need to stop doing so much. You need to stop being. And I think, one of the things I always say is that we are human beings, not doings. And what does this actually mean? I think this is what it relates to. This idea of, we're always trying to make things happen. We're always trying to plan, to tweak things, trying to script. For example, like I said, I was coming on live and I was trying to plan, because in my mind there's a thought, oh Priya, you should have something, you should have something that you want to talk about. Like, you need to know. There needs to be a structure. That is a very masculine thing, right? Like planning, being logical, right? It needs to be A, and then we need to go to step B, and then step C, rather than just allowing the wisdom to come through you. Because what Robert Adams is trying to say is that we are vessels. We are simply vessels for life force energy. Our bodies are electromagnetic conductors and life force, and they house life force, right? Life force energy. So this life force energy is intelligent by itself. It doesn't need us to interrupt. It has its own pathway that it wants to make. It has its own mission. It has its own purpose. Welcome. And we just get in the way. Our minds get in the way, and we think that we know better than the intelligence that has helped us get to this stage. I didn't consciously think about growing up. I don't consciously make my heart pump. I don't consciously breathe. At times, I try to focus, but you know what I'm saying? I don't cause the blood to be pumped around my body. I have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with those bodily functions. My body takes care of them. The life force within me, the intelligence within me takes care of them. So, you know, there are people who are not believers of God, for example. But okay, you don't believe in God, that's okay. I know God can be a very misunderstood term, a very misused, exploited term, right? Let's talk about you. Let's talk about, how did you get here? How are you breathing? Who's pumping your heart? Who's pumping the blood around your body? Who's causing your cells to multiply and heal themselves and grow and turn DNA on and turn DNA off? Well, genes on and genes off. Who's responsible for the neuroplasticity in your brain? It's not you. You're not consciously doing it, right? I don't think anybody is. So this intelligence, right, this life force, that's what we'll call it, hasn't just been working for you. It works for plants. It works for animals. It works for insects. It works for our ancestors, hence why we are here. So why is it that us as human beings believe that we have to be doing things, that we have to be hustling for things? You know what it is? It's a codependent relationship. It's not feeling safe enough. You know, remember we talked about safety? Not feeling safe enough to surrender and trust that something is always taking care of you. And you can call it whatever you want. You can call it God, you can call it life force, you can call it the universe, you can call it source, you can call it Allah, you can call it Waheguru, whatever you want to call it, you can call it that, right? You don't want to call it something, you don't have to call it something. But we all have to agree, surely, that there is something far more intelligent than us that is not only taking care of us, but has been taking care of us, our ancestors, the environment around us, nature around us, for a very long time. I mean, nature doesn't think, right? Where's the brain of nature? Nature just allows life force to work through it. It doesn't get involved. It's not like, oh no, you know, actually, I don't want to snow today. I want to make it rain today. I want to do this today. No, we're not going to go with you, okay? I know better than you. I think, you know what that is? That's our ego coming into play. How do we recognize when the soul is hungry versus when the mind or emotions are simply tired? Okay. Well, you recognize when the soul is hungry when you don't feel fulfilled. When you feel that you have everything, but you, like, for example, okay, emotions, I mean, emotions are simply tired. I wouldn't say that sentence. Emotions are simply tired. Emotions are energy in motion, right? So if you feel tired, but if you, like, there are some people who feel chronically tired. Why? Your body is getting an ample amount of rest, right? You're sleeping. You go to sleep at what, like 10 p.m. and then you wake up at like 6 or even 8 or 10 a.m., you know? So you're getting enough sleep. You're feeding yourself. You're taking all your vitamins. You know, you're getting sunshine, you're exercising, you're doing all of these things. You're feeding the mind. You're fostering relationships. You're stimulating it. You're learning new things. You're having new experiences. So why do you still feel tired? It's because the soul hasn't been heard. The soul is yearning for attention, but you're not giving it any. So there are different ways to give your soul attention, you know. One of the ways in which the soul gets a lot of attention, because the soul is one with God, right? The soul is... So the reason I want to really specify, I say soul, but of course I understand that there is only oneness. So really, if we want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, there is no soul. There is only consciousness. But for the sake of understanding this, for the sake of communicating with this communicating this to people and making them understand, right? I kind of separate the three, but of course there is no separation between the three. There is no three. Everything is just one. But like I said, for the sake of this conversation, there is the mind, body, and soul. The soul is one with consciousness. So soul and consciousness are one, okay? It's your life force. Your life force wants to flow through you. And the soul wants to be connected to God, because the soul is the thing that is everlasting. The soul was there before your body. The soul will be there after your body and your mind disappear, right? Like this is a vessel. This is just a car. For example, let's say in real life, you buy a car. Okay, it's your first car. You're 18, whatever. You drive it around, and then you get rid of the car because it's time to buy a new car. So you change cars. But you're still the same person. You were still there before you had a car, before you had your first car. You'll still be there once you get rid of your first car, right? You'll have your second car, you'll have your third car, you'll have your fourth car, you'll have many cars. But it will always still be you. You'll be the thing that is the common denominator in everything. So, is it okay just to feed the car? Or should we feed you as well? Should we nourish you? Because you are the common denominator. You are the main thing. If we don't feed you, who's going to drive the car? How well are you going to drive the car if you're not fed? Does that make sense? So, how do we feed the soul? The soul, like I said, has always existed. So the soul is consciousness, right? And consciousness wants to be, it wants to become aware. It wants to be aware. It wants attention. Bonjour, ça va? Bienvenue. You know, consciousness wants to be acknowledged. It wants attention. It wants you to look inward. It wants you to recognize it. It wants to have an experience, and I think it helps if we're conscious during that experience. So I had a realization yesterday, okay? I was listening to this podcast whilst I was cooking, and it was by Sam Harris. I always talk about his app, you know, and Sam was talking about the illusory self. So, if I ask you, who are you? What are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me, are you going to recite some like memories? Are you just a collection of memories? Oh, I was born here. I'm this old. This happened to me. This happened to me. What are these? These are just memories, right? So what is that, who you are? Your memories? Or are you going to tell me who you are in space and time? Like where you are, how you're doing, whatever. Is that who you are? Or is it true that there is no self? There is only consciousness. There is only an appearance of self. So one of the things that Sam always used to say in his meditations, he would say, look at something, right? So it would be an open eye meditation. So he'll ask you to look at something, maybe look at a wall, something clear, you know, not watching like TV or something, just something clear. Look at it. And then keep looking at it. And then look back at who's looking. So turn attention back on itself. Who is it that's looking? So, okay, like if we just do this, like you're looking at me right now, okay? Think about who's looking. I'm going to try it, okay? So I'm looking. And it's like a quick second thing, okay? It's not like a long thing. It's like look back at who's looking. Okay, so let me do it. And then when you search for the person who's looking, there's no self-looking. There is only looking. There is no looker. There is no subject. You know how everything has a subject object? I am the subject, right now, for the sake of this conversation. I'm the subject and I'm looking at a screen, which is the object. You are the subject and you are looking at a screen right now, which is the object. So look back at the subject. What is the difference between your soul and your spirit, Priya? That's a really good question. I don't know. I'm gonna have to, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question though. Maybe when you find out the answer, you can tell me. But you know what? I will write that down because, so I have a satsang, like I said, on Sunday. So please join me. You're free to. It's at 2:30 p.m. this Sunday. And we're going to be talking about this. So, Let me write that down. What is the difference? Okay. I've watched many of your short videos you've posted on your channel, and I was able to get them translated into French. Woo! They're very interesting. I'd love to discuss the topics you cover with you. Okay, I'm learning English so I can speak with you. C'est très bien, merci. What else do I say? Okay, let me like find some. Okay. Hey, Greg. I see Soul and see. That's what I was thinking. It kind of sounds like they would be the same thing, right? Soul and spirit. Should we see what ChatGPT has? First, let me just respond to Polly. Okay, let me I want a new one. No. You chat. Okay. We can definitely discuss. Okay. These topics. Okay. Okay, translate this into French. Okay. 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 Paulé. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Bien sûr, nous pouvons tout à fait discuter de ces sujets. Je suis ravie d'apprendre que tu as appris l'anglais. I feel like I read it okay, but like it's like, you know, there's a rhythm to how you talk. For example, let me try say a sentence, and you know, it sounds weird when I say like that, and I feel like I'm saying that in a French, but as long as the message goes across, I'm good with that. I think we can. Yeah. Spirit, this is your divine connection. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm a bit behind on the line, so my bad if you've moved on. When you look at highly successful people, their intentional and wholesome mindset to get where they are. Don't get me wrong, you need God. Soul, this is your personality and individuality. Okay, so wait. So spirit, this is your divine connection, and soul, this is your personality and individuality. Okay, interesting. Did you see my take on soul and spirit? I did. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I guess it's it kind of makes sense because, you know, the soul of everybody, like different things make your soul happy in like in different ways, right? For example, I was thinking about myself and how I feed my soul. So one of the ways that I feed my soul is by coming on live, by having discussions about God, you know, because I look at how I feel afterwards and I feel really good. And it's not, for example, it's not the type of pleasure you would get from eating something really, do I want to compare it? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that it feels good. I don't need to consume anything, you know? Like, for example, most people, when they look for like pleasure, they look for it outside of them, but this isn't, I mean, to be, it just, I don't know, I guess, I don't know if I'm, this just makes me happy, and I feel like it feeds my soul. That's what I'm trying to say. We can communicate by email with translator. I write in French and it will be translated into English, and you can also write to me using translator. Okay, très bien. Oui, I will do it. How do we say that? I will. Oh, let's do it. Okay. Allez. Okay. Hi. Welcome. Zigane. Hello, Zigane. Are you? It's Zigane. What's that? Okay. I don't know. I don't know if you're referencing me. But yeah, it's something that's really, you know, interesting. And when I was researching a little bit more into this, I looked at what does it actually mean to feed your soul. But like we said, you know, your soul has a specific personality. So like, you know, everybody feeds their soul in different ways. So I come here and I talk about these things, and I like sharing them. I like learning about them, and that feeds my soul. It, Ananda, my mom, one of the things that really stuck out to me that she said was always be either chanting. So always be in the remembrance of God. Never let your mind be idle. So always be chanting, having some sort of chants, repeating God's name. So this is a lot what they say in Sikhism as well, for example. Nam Japana in Eastern traditions, in Hinduism as well, they talk a lot about Nam Japana and repeating and repeating. And what was my point? So yeah, and then she said, okay, if you're not doing any of those things, then be learning about God, be talking about God, be having satsangs, right? I mean, this is a form of a satsang. So things like this keep us connected to God. It keeps us reminded of God. And I think, for example, Sunny was saying earlier, about highly successful people hustling and stuff. I'm not saying don't do that. Of course do that, but it's about trying to make things happen yourself. So what I'm trying to say is about the importance of going with the flow of life. That life has its own intelligence, and you are a vessel for that. So no one is saying put your vessel down and don't do anything with it. Just sit in front of the TV and don't do anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is allow yourself to be free. Allow life to flow through you. Allow creativity to flow through you. For example, Nikola Tesla, right? And other like Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, like these people that were really intelligent, that are so famous around the world. Well, a lot of them admit that these ideas didn't come from them. They flowed through them because maybe there is no self. There is no self. Like I said, turn attention back on itself. When you do that, eventually you'll realize and you'll be able to feel it. Like right now I'm telling you it. It's different from you feeling it and you doing it. And I'm thinking on when I have my satsang this Sunday that I want to get one of his meditations where he does this, where he tells you to turn attention back on yourself, so that everybody in this satsang can experience this if they haven't experienced it, and kind of feel it for themselves. Because it's all well and good having conversations like this, right? They call it gyan, discussing wisdom and sharing ideas and, being in the remembrance of God. But the most important thing is for this to translate into embodiment. Because you can come here, right? And it doesn't, okay, wait, and doesn't it just feel so natural to want to discuss and learn about these things and to strive to remain in that state? Yes, Greg, it does. I want to be talking about and seeing it and discussing it all the time. Like, for example, I got to the stage, I know sometimes, recently I haven't been, but I got to the stage where I didn't even watch movies or series or anything like that. The only thing I ever wanted to do was learn more about God, like have conversations, watch a podcast about something, someone discussing their relationship with God, be listening to music that's devotional to God, be talking to people who are devotional. Like, does that make sense? I wanted to just be drowned in this like remembrance of divinity. But what about if we like took this remembrance and like turned it into embodiment? And I think that's what being an enlightened individual is, being a guru. They're drowned in the divinity. What's written on my chest? It says fearless in Punjabi. Oh my god, this is exactly what we were discussing in the first Gita session I had on Wednesday with Einstein as an example. Oh my god, you have to tell me more about it. I was gonna say that's wild, but it's not, right? Greg, we've discussed this so many times. There are no coincidences. Everything is so intricately connected, right? We are all so intricate. Am I intricately? Oh wow! When you say something too many times and it just sounds weird. Intricate. Okay, we're very connected. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you know why? Like it kind of reminds me of this concept of the small world. You know how we always say, "Oh, it's a small world, it's a small world." Well, honey, of course it's a small world, because the only world that exists is the one in your imagination, the one within your consciousness, right? There is no other world. The only thing that exists is the thing that you're observing. So right now, I'm in my room. I always bring this example up. I'm in my room, I'm on live. Nothing else, as far as I'm concerned, exists. Nothing other than the thing that you can see right now exists. So your children could be in a different room. They could be in a different house. They could be outside somewhere. Japan, you think is out there in the world somewhere. You think there's a world out there, but there isn't. Okay, let me think about this. I was gonna say, you think there's an out there, but you are the out there. And the only out there that exists is the one that you are observing, because it's all within your mind. Reality is observed by the mind. There is no reality. There is no outside reality, you know? Oh, you are Punjabi. Yes, I am Punjabi. What is the meaning of contingency? Okay, I believe contingency, I don't know contingency, but contingent. So if something is contingent upon something, it means that it is dependent upon it. So you could say, shall I tell you how I know this word? So when I was at university, I was like really depressed and anxious, right? I was not having a great time. So I remember I was not doing so well because I was never doing any of my uni work. So they said, oh, you can get back into your next year. This is contingent upon, I think it was worded something like that, like, this is contingent upon like you passing this or like doing this module or something like that. So that's how I know. A contingency, I guess, is the root word of that, like the contingence part. I don't know. You look like South Indian kind of time ago. Thanks. When I first heard someone say that we are spirits, something within me trembled. I was young at the time and the idea left a lasting impression on me. Ooh, I love that you're sharing that with me, Cipriano. The truth, you feel the truth. You know, that's why I always say when people come to my live, you don't have to agree with everything I say at all, you know, but I want you to feel what that feels like, because you know what it is? The ego, like I said, the ego always wants to put its foot forward and be like, no. You know why? Because I was watching this podcast and it was freaking amazing, okay? I learned so many new things. So one of the things the lady said was, man minus ego equals God. I mean, we all already knew this, but we all love a good equation, and we love a good simple equation. Man, let me write this down. Okay, we're gonna write this down. Okay, we're gonna write this down backwards. Oh, 20. Okay. So wait, yeah. Man minus ego. You know, I'm actually so talented. Look how talented you are, Priya. So proud of you. Hello. Sometimes it looks like we're thinking of overthinking that makes us believe our world exists. As you said, we don't. He said, if we don't think we enjoy our own world, exactly. And yes, thank you so much, Greg. Satsang with me every Sunday. I have a membership going now, and I like I said, I had my first one this Sunday gone, and it was amazing. Greg was there, so Greg can vouch for this. I spoke to everybody that was there, and everybody felt really good. I felt freaking amazing. If everybody else did, cool, great. But it just, like I said, you feel like, I want you to focus on how you feel. Your internal world, right, is the most important thing, because it is what you are embodying, right? So embodiment. So why do we say that in how to attend your satsang? So Greg, if you look up, Greg has posted a link. So if you go to the link, then you can book in a place. So I have a you can book for just Sunday, or you can get a membership where you'll be able to it's monthly, so every every four there are 4 satsangs every month that you get to attend. It would be wonderful to see you there. Greg, can I indeed vouch for such a great session? I would recommend others on this live come and join. Thank you. Right? Are you available in Abu Dhabi? As in, like, the satsang is online, so I'm available everywhere. See you too. Oh, au revoir. Bonne nuit. Bonne après. Bonne nuit. It says fearless in Punjabi. Online. Yes, it's online. It's not in person, so accessible for everybody in the world, right? But yeah, so the truth, you know, you feel it. That's why Cipriano said, I felt it shake my spirit. So this is how you know that something like, you know, it shook your spirit or your soul, so your inner world. Whenever we refer to something such as your soul or your spirit, it's within your inner being, right? It's not outside of you, it's inside of you. So one of the ways that the language is English. Yeah, it's English. I mean, I can it'll be, I can start one if we have enough if there's enough of a demand for it to be in Punjabi. We can also do it in Punjabi. I would love to do it in Punjabi. So if that's something that you want, we can definitely do that. Au revoir. Because I know someone else who wants to do it in Punjabi. So what I could do is I could maybe have one on Saturday in Punjabi, and then on Sunday we can have one in English, you know? Maybe one in Hindi. I don't know if I want to push myself. But yeah. So I want to talk about virag, okay? Virag. So this is a concept. I don't think there is a translation for it into English. Let me see. Always Sneak, what is your background? Like, you speak Punjabi? Okay. Translate. Okay, virag. Okay, yeah, I definitely don't like the, well, better, no, it just doesn't sound it. Okay, virag can be translated into English as detachment or dispassion, but that sounds crazy. Why does it feel good to just listen to you? I was scrolling from 10 minutes and stuck here and I can't scroll now. Because your soul recognizes the truth. That's why. That's why. We want to listen to things that have depth, you know? Your soul is like attention, and your conscious mind could be like, or your ego could be like, oh, okay, you're from Bangalore. Okay, so wait, did you want it to be Punjabi or not? But yeah, so the soul recognizes these things, and I find that a lot of people say, oh, you know, good morning, James. A lot of people say, oh, I was just scrolling and I just happened to be here and now I can't leave. It's because something deep within you recognizes the truth and the container that exists here. You know, we're talking about things that your soul wants to experience, it wants to be immersed in, because these are conversations of divinity. And I guess there are stages, you know. There's I guess first of all you could say there's an acknowledgement of divinity, so where you kind of learn about, maybe this could be your spiritual awakening, where you're like, oh, okay, I'm just making, these are just flowing through me, so go with it, okay? So this could be likened to a spiritual awakening. Acknowledgement, okay, there's more to life than what I think there is, you know? There's a kind of recognition of divinity. Then we have remembrance, right? So where we come to places like this, we go to satsangs, we go to, I don't know, places where you are called to remember God. This could be a temple, it could be a gurdwara, it could be wherever you, it could be nature, you know, wherever you feel that you want to go to remember God. It could be meditation, it could be going within. Then we have embodiment, where you no longer need to remember because this is just who you are. And I feel that this is the ultimate stage, the embodiment of it. That, you know, in Sikhism they say something like it's felt within your every heartbeat. That's why they say do Nam Japana, repeat mantras, remember, stay in that state, because then it becomes a part of your vibration. It becomes who you are. You become one with the previous condition, because consciousness is fundamental. It is the previous condition to everything right now. So we think that we're seeing this world, but this world is an illusion. This is just an appearance in consciousness. It is not the ultimate truth. If I talk with someone, why I become like them, why I think like them, why I get similar thoughts like them, do you think due to my observations makes like that? Okay, interesting. So, you know, I mean, there are many ways to answer this, Sneak. One, you know, way could be collective consciousness. So collective consciousness is almost like the unconscious field. So there is a field around you, okay? It can be called the quantum field. Science wants to call it the Higgs field. It could be called the etheric field, the Akasha, right? In Hindi, if you understand Hindi, Akasha. This allows things to travel. It allows emotions and thoughts and feelings and energy to travel, right? It's the medium through which things travel. So when you are with someone, unbeknownst to you, their thoughts will affect you because they will be traveling, but you don't have any control over this, because you may think that only things that you can see exist, which is untrue, because we can't see Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi exists. We can't see microwaves. Microwaves exist. In fact, we only see 0.05 of visible light, I believe. So over 99%, there is 99% over that of things that exist that we can't see. So when people say, oh, I only believe it when I see it. Yeah, but babe, honey, sweetheart, my child, you can only see like 0.05. You know? So what do you mean you only believe what you see? There's so much you don't see because the senses are so limited, right? So you don't see these thoughts traveling towards you. You don't see that you are everything. You are the previous condition. You are the consciousness that it is in everything. So when something comes into your field, of course it's affecting you because it is you. So it's about like protecting your energy and then changing where you want to be. For example, this is why they say always be wary of your company. Where like, who are you keeping company with? You are half of them. You're probably most of them. You probably are about like 95% of who you hang out with. Because when minds come together, let's say you're in the company of someone who's really always feeling negative, always thinking negatively, always complaining, that will rub off on you. When I'm around people, like, that rubs off on me sometimes. It's palpable, you know? So that means that you have to protect your energy, because you'll become that. You become that which you subject yourself to. I will give accurate details of their thoughts, even they get shocked. Okay, Pri, let me go now. I'm getting addicted to your voice. Okay, bye-bye. That's a really good question. Is this something that scares you, or is this something you're comfortable with? Wow, love that, Greg. I love a good question. You know, I think that's something that I've been pondering the thought of. Good questions. And, you know, that's actually the job of a life coach, to have really good questions that can draw things out of people, rather than me coming in and preaching almost. I need to draw it out of that person, because everybody already knows the truth. Hi from Punjab. Oh, hey, Karan. Sat Sri Akal ji. Namaste. Everybody, let's say you go to make a decision, okay? And the decision is to be mean to someone. Consciously, you'll justify it. The mind will say, the ego will say, it's fine, we can do that, we can get revenge here. They deserve it. She did that to me first. Why can't I do it back to her? She needs to learn a lesson. I'm here to teach her. She's not going to get away with this. Right? You'll think that. You'll justify it. And then there's a part of you, there's that knowing that knows that this is not okay, that this is not who you are, that this is not the way that you want to act, this is not the type of energy that you want to put out into the world. So everybody has that inner intelligence within them that recognizes things. We always know when we're doing something kind of wrong, you could say, something that is damaging to the people around us. You got sunlight that's positive. Yeah, I mean, it's not really sunlight, it's more okay, I have a candle, so it could be the candle. And also it is yeah, that's an airplane. It's been snowing, so it's really bright outside, so it's probably being like reflected and it looks like sunshine. I went out and played in it yesterday, and it didn't. I mean, I guess this is just like I'm just stating the obvious here, but it was so bright. It wasn't dark at all. Everything just looked really nice. It was cool. I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised that we have snowfall in January. England is very weird when it comes to weather, I think. That fragrance, it's not, see, it's interesting you said fragrance candle. It's not fragrance. I don't use fragrance candles. Because they it's chemicals, right? You're burning chemicals, and I don't know what those chemicals are. So this is actually an unscented candle. Priya, why are you enjoying this live? Why would I not be enjoying this live? This is what I live for. This is one of my favorite things to do. I get to talk and talk and talk and talk about these things. You know, before I used to come on live, like before I started this, even before I started creating content, I would have conversations like this with my sister, and I think she was the only one, and occasionally with other people, you know, but I feel like those people weren't really getting it as much. So I didn't find many people with whom I could just have these discussions. Like I said, it was just my twin sister. So now I get to have these conversations with people who understand them, who really like to engage in them, and from whom I can learn more, because I don't know everything. I know very little. There is only I don't even know this much, you know, compared to how much there is to know, how much there is to learn, how much there is to experience. So it's just fun. I love teaching and I love learning. So yeah, of course, I'm going to enjoy this. I had something similar when I was a young teenager, but it's hard to describe in limited text. Oh, okay. What is this? Is this, wait, let me see what was, why I become like them. Okay. Interesting. So Greg, you were, you had something similar, as in, I guess what Always Sonique is talking about is impressionability, right? Like, you hang out with people and you become like them. Because I believe that we're incredibly impressionable. I mean, I realized this. One of the reasons I started smoking cigarettes is because I would watch Sex and the City, a series, right? And in the series, she would always smoke. Carrie, the main character, she would smoke every time she would get stressed, or just in general. And I would see my sister smoke as well. So then one day out of the blue, even though consciously I would stay away from people who are smokers. I hate the smell of smoke. I one day was really stressed, and my mind made the relationship that, oh, you should smoke. This will alleviate your stress. And then I started smoking. So yeah, I started drinking alcohol because I used to watch another show. So now I try to think about, I have to be very wary about what I watch, because I become exactly like that. You have no control over it, you know? Okay. Means candles are actually original in their originality. Yeah, exactly. Same here. I don't find people to talk. Oh, well, Corinne, you're welcome here. And then also satsang, where you can actually talk properly, where we can see you, where you can engage. It's happening on Sunday if you would like to join us. Most of the people that are there are people from the chat who really want to go deeper and have conversations and share their wisdom and their journey and their knowledge. So you're welcome. It needs a long conversation to get proper answer. Why don't we could talk about this in the satsang if you guys would like. I'm happy to make it a topic of conversation, and I'd like to learn more. I enjoy your content. Thank you, James. I was in the gym an hour ago. Sometimes you don't really get the vibe right. Okay. Do you smoke? I don't anymore. Oh my god, that's the worst show. I liked it at the time. There you go. Have it. What? A Dunhill? What's a dun? Oh, I guess that's a that's a company of cigarettes, right? I used to have Benson and Hedges. Whoa, that's so weird since I said those words. Charlotte was my favorite. Ah, okay, Greg. Charlotte, cool. I like Charlotte. I really liked, what's her name? Samantha. They were all wonderful. Yeah, Charlotte was cute though. She was sweet. Very, from what I can recall, it was about 5-6 years ago, maybe even longer than that. Very, how would I say? Sweet. Even that's objectifying her. She's much more than that. So many new people on here. Yes, Yash. I watched Rush movie. Is that Chris Hemsworth's character made me a smoker? Oh, see? It happens to people. I don't anymore. That snake ring has a secret, right? It has a secret. It's my sister's. I had one, but then I lost it. So I saw this in my sister's cupboard today, and I was like, yep, I'm wearing that. Okay, do you plan to have a startup like a spiritual center? Oh, geez, a spiritual center? So when you asked that, originally I thought, I don't think I'm there yet. But that means that I have put my desire here and I'm here. And if I ever want to get there, I really have to be there. So, it would be more, yeah, I'm going to start one very soon. It's already done. I already have it. It's like this. Because that's how you embody the thing that you want to be. I am, right? I am Priya. I am a spiritual center owner. There we go. Boom. It's out there. It's done because I'm the operant power. So what happens is, see, there are many understandings of my of consciousness that I have. So one of them is that there is no self. All of them which are true. They're just different ways to look at it. So one of them is there is no self. There is no Priya. There is only life. There is only experience. There is only speaking. There is no one speaking. It's just flowing through me. It's just coming out of me. Like I said earlier, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, all of these people, they didn't sit there and figure this shit out. Okay, oh my god, let me this. This came from them, because nothing comes from you. Because who is it coming from? There is no self, right? There is only consciousness, and there is only an appearance of the self. The self that you believe you are is the ego. The ego. This is why I said man minus ego equals God. So when you understand that everything just flows to you, nothing comes to you. Nothing comes from you. It comes through you. You're a vessel. Yeah. Dunhill is a perfume brand as well, I think. Oh, okay. Priya, your lips are talking the truth about smoking. Okay. Thank you. One of my friend had a fish on ring. Nice. My dog will go to tumor. Have been very busy with things. Once I get everything under control, I will join in satsang as well. Okay, perfect. Great. Girl, you better try Yog Nidra tonight. Okay, I feel like that's God is speaking to me. How do I try it? I forgot. Tell me again. Okay. What about women? Ego. What? Women minus ego. Oh, why are we going there? Oh, I get it. Okay, because I wrote man. Human but minus. No. Oh. Fine. Okay, fine. Man. So woman and man minus ego. Will that make sense? I feel like that will become what's it called in maths? You know, when you have you can see how long ago I did maths, right? It's where like you have multiple. So like if I put what's this here? Okay, oh my god, it has to be really skinny. Okay, plus man. Now what are you gonna do? It's bid mass, isn't it? Brackets in bit. I don't know. We're not gonna go there. We're gonna leave it. Okay. I think Priya, you have a different vibe. Like, I actually have a gut feeling. I know you for years. I actually don't know why. It's my second time. Yeah, I already said that. It's, I mean, Karan, we're all one, right? So there is a reason you're here. Nothing is random. Nothing is random. Nothing. I might get that tattooed on me somewhere. The Bachelor was the funny show about a guy dating multiple women, watched by women who hate guys that date multiple. Oh my god, James, that's wild. I've never thought about it like that. I liked it too. It's crazy. Tobacco is the most spiritual for the Native Americans vehicles. Interesting. Oh, okay. How about person? And can you write person backwards? Of course. Testing me now, Greg. Okay. Piece of cake, honey. Piece of person minus ego equals God. I didn't realize we were that sensitive. But it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's cute that the men here want women to be included, right? I should have, interesting. Okay. There are guided yoga nidra on YouTube. You just lie down and follow the instructions. Okay, Yash. Thank you for the reminder. You know what? Let me get it up because I do want to do it. I do want to do it. Yog Nidra. Yog Nidra. Oh. Yog Nidra sleep meditation guided. Okay. Chalo ji. Okay. Done. Okay. This is an interesting point, and I think other people too get a sense of knowing someone for a long time when they first meet them. Yeah, it's soul recognition, right? I could have been like, I mean, I don't know, Greg. I've never asked you this to be honest, or anybody else. Like, do you guys believe in reincarnation? That we've done this multiple times. Like, for example, in Sikhism, and I believe in Hinduism as well. They believe that we've had many, many lifetimes. So it's almost like the vehicle analogy, right? The car analogy. There is a car, you have a car, and the car that's your vehicle. So this is my car, this is my vehicle for this lifetime. That's why when people say, are you Indian, I like to say, yeah, in this lifetime. Because I don't want to think from the body. Does that make sense? I want to live from the understanding that there is more from that. So the way that I speak, the way that I answer things has drastically changed over time. But I digress. Yes, so this is my vehicle, right? Priya, Indian, this 5'3.5", nearly 5'4", black, short, medium hair. You know, this is my vehicle. But the soul is the thing that has always existed and will always continue to exist. And it always stays the same, right? So yeah, it's soul recognition. You may not have known me, but your soul, because there's something deeper at play all the time, which I think is beautiful. Okay. Bapa Sitaram. Bapa Sitaram. I don't know what that means, Pravin. Sometimes don't have stage. Okay. I'm 29 and I've never smoked or drunk alcohol, largely because of the environment I grew up in. Sometimes when I hear people my age talk about the lives they lived and overcame, I feel a quiet envy. Interesting. Cipriano, wow. You know, I love that for you. I love that you took care of your body and you didn't do that to yourself. I mean, it's not one of those things that I like judge myself for. Not that I think that you're judging me or anything. It's just something that happened that was meant to happen, you know? And it's interesting that you say the lives they have lived and overcame and feel quite envy. See, envy or things like jealousy, they say, is because you are meant to have the thing that you're meant to live the way that they have lived. So if I'm jealous of something, it's because there is a version of me that has the thing that they have, that I am also meant to have in this lifetime, that I will eventually have if I just get out the way. Does that make sense? So for example, let's say I'm jealous of someone. Like I used to be, when I first started YouTube, there was this YouTuber that I used to watch that I was jealous of. I was jealous of her. She had, you know, she was so articulate. Her videos were wonderful. I learned so much. I really liked her. I really respected her. And I was jealous of her. I was like, I can do this. I want this. Because I knew that it was meant for me. Because think about it. We are only jealous of specific things. I'm not jealous of everything or anything. I'm jealous of specific things. So the things that you envy are telling you something. So it's an emotion that, of course, feel. That's okay. You know, we all, like, we feel emotions. It happens. Meet them where they are. You know, don't judge them. Yes, we are born again and again. I see it as a fact. I'm sure modern science will one day show it to be scientific too. Well, you know, Greg, I don't know if you've read the book, but it's about past life hypnosis, past life regression, by Dr. Brian Weiss, who's a very respected psychiatrist, I believe. And he had a patient, Catherine. She came to, I don't want to ruin it. It's a really, really, really good book. It's one of those books that I was reading as I started my spiritual awakening journey, and it just brought me immense peace because I recognized it to be the truth. You know, deep within me, I was like, I know this is the truth. This is how life is, okay? I ain't gonna see it any other way. But yeah, so past life regression is something that happens through hypnosis. So when you relax enough, what you do is you can access all of your soul's memories. Because, for example, the Akashic Records, it's kind of like that. I guess that's just another name for it. You know, it's all the information, every thought that you've had, everything that you've, any idea you've ever had, it's stored. It's stored somewhere, right? In the Akashic records is what they call this place, but it's not like a thing outside of you. It's within you, right? It's within consciousness, and you can access it. Everybody can access it through hypnosis. You relax enough, the hypnotist will take you through a process, and then what happened was that Catherine came and she was incredibly stressed. She was in a lot of suffering. She had phobias of things that didn't even make sense. She had a phobia of drowning, yet she had never drowned. You know? Things that just didn't make sense. So many of them. And then what happened is that Dr. Brian Weiss, he is doing hypnosis with her and, you know, trying to figure out what it is. And suddenly a voice speaks up, and it's a version of her from a different lifetime. and she has all these specific facts about this place, and yeah, and then he realized, whoa, all the facts check out. And as soon as she spoke about this, so there was a trauma, let's say the drowning one, she had actually drowned in one of her past lives. So that is why she had a fear of drowning. And then what happened was, as soon as she left, because she had experienced it, right, in her past life regression session, she'd experienced it, she'd felt it, she'd released it. She no longer had the fear of drowning anymore. And this happened for a lot of her phobias, and she had many. And she was able to unveil information about Brian, Dr. Brian, and his wife, like the name of their unborn child, that they had a miscarriage and no one knew what they were going to name the child. She knew, though. How would she know? Because there, like I said, there's an intelligence at play that is far beyond our understanding. I didn't say I was an atheist, Sevion. Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you? And Rajiv, vague talk by you, no meaning, no matter. I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder, my love. If you don't get it, that's you thing. Chitta, it carries memory, and karma. Chitta is Jet. Oh, is that also Jetta? Jetta is basically a collective ego of all pressure lives. It's a layer of the soul. Nice. Okay. I've heard you talk about this book before. I'll add it to the list. Woo! Hey, Vebov. Oh, yeah, I had back in 2017 a device, a method to go Obi using Yoga Nidra. I've been talking to the American yogi Buddhist. He told me his experiences as well about meditation. He's adept, done it for 40 years. Wow. Love that. You're going to have to tell us more. How was it? What did you see? If you want to, by the way, if you're allowed. If not, save it for the satsang. Pimp Uncle Leroy released another 90s 50 soul style song, Eminem Without Me. Okay. Yes, Many Lives, Many Masters. That's what it's called. What do I think of MK Ultra? I can't remember. I can't remember what that's about. So I don't really think of it. Okay. I saw a wonderful meme about this once. It was a person dying and being in the tunnel with the bright light at the end of the tunnel. It turned out the tunnel and bright light was the birth canal. Wow. Waheguru. Jeez. Wow. That's amazing. Greg, following on from this, so we can access memories from what it felt like to be in the womb of our mother, and many, many old lifetimes. I mean, also one thing that came through were masters. So there were these masters that had all of this really divine wisdom that they were sharing with Dr. Brian Weiss. And look, Dr. Brian Weiss is someone, Greg Weber, this is Naman from the satsang. So I'd introduce you. You probably already know anyway. What was I talking about? Yeah, the enlightened masters, they were teaching him. So yeah, Brian was a very sciencey sort of person. Yes, hardcore. He didn't believe in these things, but when you have personal experience, what are you gonna do? You can't say no to it. And it really helped his personal life, and he went on to write other books as well about this, about how you can actually do past life regression with people. You could go with your child and do it, and see what lifetimes you've had together. For example, you may have children, or even all of us right now. I may have been someone's mom. May have been someone's daughter, someone's husband, someone's grandma, someone's teacher, someone's student, in a past lifetime. So when you say, oh, it feels familiar, that's probably why. So if any of you ever go to get past life regression, especially, I know Karan said he feels like he knew me, he's known me. Ask why do I know Priya? How do I know her? And maybe I'll do too. I'll do eventually. I think people can actually, someone can sit with you and they can get the script up. Obviously you need someone who's a little bit trained, but I mean, you could try out yourself as well. Hamza, what's your opinion about Hamza Ahmed, self-improvement YouTuber? I don't watch him. I've heard of him. I have no opinion. Oh, oob, out of body experience. Thanks for clearing that up. Oh, okay, wait. So let me read this. What you wrote again then? Oh yeah, had back and devised a method to go out of body using yoga nidra. Okay, interesting. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. I've been really good. I've been thinking a lot about something you said on Sunday. I'll tell you when I see you again on Sunday. Nice. I'm excited. I'm so excited for Sunday. You know, I have actually been thinking about something that I want to. Should I? Yeah, I want to share. I want to share. Wait. Can I? It's. Can I? Can I share something that you spoke about Verbuff a little bit? It kind of goes back to what I was speaking about. Let me know. Yes, okay, perfect. So, you know, Naman, he shared how there was a day, forgive me if I get the details wrong, but there was a day where he was particularly relaxed. He was in a very calm state. I think he'd been maybe meditating. Yeah, he'd been at that time he was meditating regularly for about oh great. Oh, my last message was for you. Oh, okay, cool. Whoops. Okay, so wait, I can share. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll just say, okay, so what happens is when you are in a particular state, right? You are in the remembrance of God. So you're meditating, you are learning, you are immersing yourself, drowning yourself in divinity. What happens is that your vibration gets to a certain point where it becomes palpable for other people. So people recognize it, you know, people can feel it. I don't know how we got to this point, to be honest. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. So wait, it's something that Greg said. Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what Ananda Maima was saying, you know, it makes sense because it's like what Weber said about like what it felt was that he was immersing himself in divinity, right? In remembrance, in embodying that state, that high state, beyond the mind. And that's kind of what Anandamai talks about. You know, the mind is always trying to pull you back in. The ego is always trying to pull you back in. No, let's think, let's overthink, let's stress, let's be anxious. But when you can go beyond that and you can kind of maintain that state a little bit, then it becomes very palpable to people, is what I'm trying to say. Not that I want to start smoking or drinking, but sometimes I envy the experiences of those who've lived life and overcame it. There are things you can only understand through experience. Okay, Cyprian, that makes sense. That makes sense. Right, okay. That's a fair enough point. Hey, there is only experience, right? So, I get that. I get that. Interesting. It's really cool. I've never heard someone, not in a very long time, someone say something like that. I think, you know, that's one of the reasons why I don't regret it, because I got to have that experience. And you know, to be honest, that's what I thought. You know, I'm glad that I had that experience, that I did those things, that I was smoking, drinking, partying, doing whatever, you know. Because maybe afterwards I would get to a point where I would think, oh, you know, I wonder what that's like. I've never had that experience, and now let me try it. I mean, the thing is, you know, is there ever a right time or a wrong time to do something? But yeah, I will try my best. I'm trying to make people listen today. It's gonna happen. You're gonna be there. It's done, okay? It's great to talk to you guys in person. Well, don't have enough words to express. Oh, yay! Your energy is good, Greg, and I'm curiously very receptive. Yeah, I agree. I have been diagnosed with split personality disorder, but I don't love myself. Okay, interesting. but I don't love myself. You know, is that true? Is that 100% true? But Cipriano, here you are in this life, which shows that you, without having the experiences, traumas your friends had, you still want to find a deeper meaning to life, if that makes sense. Yeah, Greg, wow. What a great way to look at it, right? Because, you know, following on from what Greg said, Cipriano, you know, there is, of course, it's the experience, but there's a lot of darkness, I think, to that experience as well. There's a lot of suffering, and I think that, I guess my soul chose to go through that kind of suffering to get to this point, and it was necessary, but not everybody has to go through that. You know, I think a lot of people, they find God when they have, like, generally, you know, when they've gone through a lot of suffering. So what it's like is, you know, if you have an arrow, so we pull the arrow back, right? Back. So back into pain, into suffering, and then we let it go. And then it goes forward, and then it goes straight. Like, that's what happened to me. I was so back, right? That when I let go, it just went straight forward into like a spiritual awakening. So you didn't really, you didn't have to go through that, you know? Which is wonderful. I guess your soul is on a different journey, on a different path. It already knows. Yeah. Do I love myself? Yes, of course. I am love. I can like that is who I am. I can't not love. Everybody is. I don't care who you are or what you think you have. You are love. Because consciousness is love. Okay, so I was watching this podcast, right? And this lady was talking about 3 different levels of bhakti. So she said the first one is about dhyan, so sitting down and meditating. She likened it to a bank account. Okay, this is what they tend to do in Eastern traditions. Okay, that's the way they speak about it. It's about creating like kamai. Kamai is like your kamai, like how much you've worked, how much you've accumulated. So when we think about kamai, we think about, oh, money and how much money we've accumulated. But this is different. This is about how much your soul kind of has accumulated, which I think I would really actually want to pose this question to anyone who understands this and can help me get it on a deeper level. I guess it's to do with your vibration. So the more kamai you have, so the more you meditate, the like you're giving more attention to your consciousness. So you're slowly kind of, I guess, learning to go beyond the mind, you know? So she said, okay, there are 3 levels. So the first one is meditation. So you sit down and you meditate. She said you may sit for half an hour, but you may only connect for a minute. So you get 1%, right? Your money will increase by 1% interest. Nam Japara. So that's like mantra. It's like Waheguru, Allah, Jesus, God, whatever you want to repeat. Waheguru Ram, you know? You do that. And if you do that every second of every day, like all the time, then you have about 24,000, right, in your bank account. So you have an interest of 24,000 that you'll get paid back. Then she said that when you have the 3rd level of bhakti is ishq. It's love. It's through the heart. And she said with this, she likened it to remembering God in your heart with every heartbeat that you have. And that equates to like 100,000 something heartbeats. So that's 100,000 interest. You see? So there are different levels of it. So it's through love. Because you know why? You know why it's so palpable? Because love is the most powerful force in the universe. Because consciousness is love. We live in a loving world. So when people say, do you love yourself, or I don't love myself, you believe that. That's just a thought. That's not the truth. You know? If I start reading Sikhism's manual, it pretty much does not have any vices, which is exactly some of the devices which is exactly opposite. Some of the devices are what keeps life interesting. See, Sikhism teaches, so, you know, Vaibhav mentioned, right? He mentioned in the satsang, he said, dhyan, so meditation and wisdom, they both have their place. They're both important. They both can't replace each other. So yeah, you can sit down and meditate, but for that to translate into wisdom is also important. So what these different books, these religious texts do is they provide you with the wisdom in words, and they do it the best, right? And it's about you, the reader, and how you take it and how you understand it. And then that wisdom needs to translate into embodiment. That's when you have a true, like a fulfilled, like, conscious life. It's about awareness, and the truth. Likewise, my friend, if you don't make this Sunday, which I hope you do, I look forward to seeing you soon. And not to mention Priya. About Priya, she's awesome. I mean, I listen to her song and sleep sometimes. How I listen to my girl. No way. That's wild. Oh. Split personality is common nowadays. After this life, even Priya will be a completely different person for sure. That's very true. Very true. Both of you guys, Priya and Greg, and I was talking to you guys as a treat. Webber, likewise. Ditto, my friend. Ditto. It's so interesting, because I was thinking about relationships, right? And I was thinking about worldly relationships. So a lot of times people get into relationships, like romantic relationships, for example, and they don't last that long sometimes, or they have loads of problems, right? It's because, so at the core of everything is love, obviously. And a lot of us don't understand love. We think that love is you meeting my egoic desires. These worldly things that we discuss, like, oh, did you watch that show? Oh, what are you gonna wear? Oh, we have that dinner. And these things are important, but they're not everything. They're not soul level things, though, right? And then you have soul level connections, and it doesn't necessarily have to be only romantic, but I feel that those connections are like the truest connections, where they're, the fruits of them are ever like giving, and there's so much respect and trust and reverence there. And I think that's beautiful. And I feel like that's something that, I feel like is being fostered in this community, and in my life. And I'm forever grateful for that, for sure. It's I always wanted to find my soul family, because I was like, oh my god, who is it? But maybe it's existing right here, right now, because I feel like I'm being met on that level, and it's beautiful. So appreciate y'all. Woo! Okay. I've always wanted to do past life regression stuff since I'm RH and have green eyes, lots of RH conspiracies. Okay, what does RH stand for? I have nothing but love in my heart, okay? But I don't love myself. My love is for others. Okay. Why do you not love yourself? And is this 100% true? Is this fact? Tell me. Priya, looks like you've done some black magic. That is hilarious. I'm trapped in this live. I'm tired, Priya. Let me sleep. Oh no. Why don't you just pull a Webber and just like play and then just like sleep? Hang on. Okay, this is something I definitely like to discuss on Sunday about relationships. Okay, maybe I will discuss this. I mean, there were so many different ideas that I had about the satsang this Sunday, but I think relationships could be one. It's really interesting about, like, yeah, maybe we can do that. Maybe we'll go with that. I'll let you know. Thank you, Greg, for your thoughts. Greg. I'm kidding. It happens. I get typos all the time. For your thoughts on my situation. I remember a friend once joking that heaven would laugh at my failure to taste cannabis. Wow, a plant that grows by the power of nature. Cipriano, you're welcome, and I've never heard of that, but I get it. It's someone who does it themselves will always try and convince someone else, or like, it's the power of your sat sang, your sangat. It's the power of your sangat. So sangat is like your company. So of course, a thief will convince you to steal. A politician will convince you to be in politics. A businessman will convince you eventually to do business. A wealthy person will teach you how to be wealthy. A poverty mindseted person will teach you about poverty. It says nirpa, which means fearless in Punjabi. Where are you from? England? Where do you stay now? England. Okay. How do I do? I just do it with my hands. Did you hear the song? No, Bulle Ki Jana Main Kaun. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. Let me type it in. I did remember. Okay, you know what? No excuses. I didn't, and yeah, but okay. I'm so glad that you brought Bulle Shadi up, because we were talking about the different levels of bhakti, right? Your different levels of, how do I describe bhakti? Like, how would I? Let me Google like what translation into English of bhakti is. Bhakti translated into English. Okay. Devotion. Okay, yeah. So the level of your devotion, right? And ishq is one of the highest ones. So if we think about it, then Bulle Shahji, because I could never get this. So Sufism is something that I have been surrounded with my whole life, because my mom was kind of on that similar path, right? She really admires someone who, if you had to classify what it is, it would be Sufism. It falls under Sufism. Not that I like to label or box things up, because that limits them. But for people to understand, I think that's what it would be. It helped me understand that, right? So it is about devotion to your guru, right? And that's what Bulle Shahji did. He had so much devotion and love and ishq for his guru. And it wasn't romantic, okay? It's not a romantic thing. There is blood. I'm sorry, I was reading James's comment. There is love that exists beyond like egoic, surface level. Oh, I like his body, I like her body, I like his general vibe. He wants a family, I want a family, that kind of vibe, or it's a partner. It can be love with everything. And what Bulle Shahji did was he had that true level of devotion for his guru. And he was from a different caste. He was of higher caste than his guru was, and then the whole of his society, his family, were shaming him. How could you do this? How could you go to someone who's of a lower caste, because clearly he's a low person or whatever, you shouldn't associate yourself with him. But he had so much love for him, and they say that he reached, like, that's why he's so well renowned. And I believe that Sufism then explains the highest level of bhakti. It's through the heart. Because in the podcast, the lady was saying the destination is really small, like the journey into spirituality. It's from the mind into the heart, into the body, right? It's just here from here, but it feels the most difficult. And, in Sikhism, they say about love, you can't, you have to have love. When you're doing all these things, when you're reading Bani and you're reciting mantras, there has to be love. You have to feel something on the inside. Otherwise, what's the point of it all? Like my mom, my mom was obviously very into her, her devotion. And I would say to her, Mom, why are you worried then? Why is it you stress about things, but then you're so into this? Isn't your connection to God meant to bring you peace? Isn't it meant to make you feel good? If it doesn't actually make you feel any different, or it doesn't change you in any way, then what's the point? You're not doing it right. Then the wisdom hasn't translated into attention, into the way that you're being. Okay, sorry, I didn't even, okay, what's the name of it? Rabi Shergill Bulla ki Jani. Okay. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm just gonna keep it here. Oh, okay, it's a sweet guy. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. You hear Punjabi song? I do. You're Indian. I'm Indian. The singer is okay, Brown. Yes. Do you listen to Sufi song? Yes, I do. I love them. Like Qualia and stuff, right? Blood type RH is mysterious human evolution. A friend showed me something long ago about these conspiracies. All the things it said wasn't far off. See, you know, it's really interesting. Conspiracy, the word, was actually created by the CIA to kind of like not demonize, but make it seem fantastical that, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. It's not true, but it's an alternative theory. That's what I see, you know. How to improve your English? Practice. Speak. What type of whitening strips do I recommend? I mean, I used Crest a very long time ago, but they made my teeth very sensitive. I use them like often, a lot. So I haven't used them in years though, but what I would say is maybe use one or two and just like leave it at that every now and then. They are really, really powerful. They're actually illegal because they have so many strong chemicals in them. Do you listen to Sufi songs? Do you listen to Sufi songs and can you recommend some? Okay, sure. I was in like, okay, Sufi songs. I actually have a whole like playlist called Sufi. Okay, wait, let me switch account. So my phone because my Chrome logs me out at times. Okay. Okay, Sufi. Okay, so I found this Sufi meditation music. So it's reed, flute, and harp. This is meant to be really, really calming to the body, but I don't actually listen to it a lot. You want my playlist? How can I don't know how I would send that. It's a lot of Qawwaliyan by like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. I like Kanwar Grawal. I like how can I send this to you? If you email me, I can screenshot and send it to you. Can I recommend some music to listen to? Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, you listen to Tantra. I love Tantra Siba. I was gonna say it's wild that you listen to her, but is it really? Of course you listen to her. There's one of them that I really love. I can't remember which one it was. I used to listen to all the time. It's fascinating. You know, I mean, that's the prime example of it kind of being channeled through her. Because she's saying words and I don't actually know what she's saying, and they sound so beautiful. It speaks to your soul, you know. But yeah, if you Girish Sharma, if you email me, I could maybe like screenshot them all and send them to you if you'd like that. Because I think you want bro. I'm not a bro. I love saying that. I feel like it triggers people sometimes, but that's okay. I say it to my sisters. Oh, she played in London recently, but I wasn't able to. Oh my god, that's wild. I didn't even know she did that. Can you imagine being there? Wow. Yin yang, love, hate, it's life. I hate myself, but love others. You know, Biggie, you keep repeating it so much that it's become your story. It doesn't, you're holding on to something you don't have to hold on to. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't even see your question, Cipriano. Tell us if you don't mind about your first romantic relationship and why it failed. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. My first romantic relationship. Okay, like an actual relationship. Because I mean, the first proper deep romantic kind of like experience I had was where I liked someone and it was very one-sided. So, you know, I really like this person, but I don't think they like me back. But it was a very like, it was an unrequited love. It was very limerent. I was incredibly limerent for years, for years. And I think it kind of, at times I feel that it really had a deep impact on me. You know, but it can happen a lot. You know, limerence, it's a form of escape. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the term limerent. Limerence. So limerence is where you become really obsessed with someone when you barely actually know them. You don't have a relationship with them or anything like that. Obviously, I knew this person. I was in class with this person at all times, you know, for years. So I got to kind of know him on that level. But yeah, there was no like actual relationship or anything like that, and it was being obsessed with an idea of him. So books provide escape routes, right? We smoke, we take drugs, we drink alcohol because we want to escape ourselves, and that was one of my escape routes. So that was something that, it wasn't a romantic relationship, but it's something that was like my first primary experience of romance. The second one was, we were both young, and yeah, young, kind of like, what would I say happened? I don't know what, just kind of I grew each other, I guess, you know? I used to listen to so much Christian music when I was a kid. You know, me too. Me too. I loved it. Jason Upton, I don't know if you've heard of him, but Jason Upton is someone that we used to listen to. My uncle is Christian, and he sent us like loads of like Bible and this CD of Jason Upton, and that was really beautiful. My understanding is that the British Empire enhanced and exacerbated the caste system in India. How am I wrong to control? Am I wrong? Yeah, they enhanced it for sure. Exacerbated? I mean, yeah, they did. They did. That's what apparently they did. I wasn't there, but so I hear. Is it necessary that our first love fails? Like, I'm with my first love. Is it necessary to break apart? Everyone says it's true. No, of course not. Of course not. Look, people stay for as long as they need to stay. You know? We can't control that. Because our romantic relationships are our strongest mirrors. They are showing you who you are, you know, at a very microscopic level. They show you deeply who you are, who you turn up as, because it's reflected right back at you. So I guess the moment that you feel that you've got, like, your soul feels like, oh, I've gotten everything that I needed out of this now, then that's it, you know? Another documentary that's really good is What Plants Talk About. That is so cool. Talks about how plants show animal, like, that's so cool. Oh my god, what? Thank you. You know, I really like this documentary I watched about trees and how trees love each other, and how they have a mycelium layer under the ground, and how they're all connected, and how they support each other. And I mean, if that's not love, come on, that's consciousness. That's no thinking, no ego, right? Pure love, giving, unconditional. Yeah, plants. What plants talk about? What plants talk about? And where can I find this documentary? If a relationship ends, it doesn't mean it's failed. It just means, yeah, exactly. You know, look, it's the journey ultimately is yours alone, and people come and join you, and they'll walk with you for a bit, and then they may leave, and that's okay. We don't need to hold on to them. Hi. One-sided love is the best kind of love, is it? You know, I guess one-sided love, if it's truly love, then yeah. Mine was limerence. It wasn't really love, it was attachment. Some people love themselves so much they engross themselves in their own ego. That's not love, though. Love isn't like that. The British Empire used the caste system against the Indian people. They changed it into something else for the advantage of ruling the country. The book Quoting India by Nandini Das is a great book on the topic. Love that, Greg. Thank you. Divide and conquer, right? Divide and conquer. And people who have no vices or are fully against any vice are very much afraid of the fact that they don't believe in life after this existence. are against any advice are very much afraid that they do not believe in life after this existence. You know, like Osho said, one of the things I love about Osho is he said, be conscious, be aware. You have a vice, all right, do it consciously. Be aware. Don't be asleep and do it. Don't be drunk. You know, be there, be awake. That changes the game. Hey, it has been a long time. Welcome. I used to listen to Starfield, 16 Cities and 13 Senses. 13 Senses have been my top 3 bands since like this stopped me. Oh no. Give me okay. Give me a life advice that everyone needs to hear. Let me think. Focus inwards. Focus on your inner world. Oh, my mom is calling me. Sorry, just give me a second. Hello? Yes? Oh, okay. Shall I just send a picture of her? Wait, I don't. Wait, yeah. Shall I just send a picture of her thingy? Her card? Alright, okay, love you, bye. Bye. Okay. Sorry, just give me a second. Okay, there we go. So yeah, your inner world dictates everything. Your observation creates your reality, it generates your reality, you know? So what are you focused on? What are you giving your attention to? That, like, if I had to give a really simple one. There was an experiment by this Japanese guy who planted a few plants and told a pair of nice things like I love you and stuff, another pair hateful stuff, and the first pair flourished and the second one died. I've heard of that one before. It's true. Food. I talk to everything, you know, food. Like if I hit my foot off something or I like whack a piece of furniture, I apologize to the furniture because I just think you have emotions, okay? Why? Think about it. How do we actually go about our day? Like if you stub your toe, do you like hit the door? You know, I would do that. I would like hit the door, I'm like, are you stupid? But I don't want to treat it like that. Like it was my fault. You know, not that I want to blame anyone, but I want to treat everything and everyone with love, you know? So yeah, YouTube. Okay, I think the highest spiritual level is when one wakes up in the morning, makes a black strong coffee, takes out and runs the life out of it. Okay, love that. What is your name? It's Priya. How was satsang on Sunday? It was amazing. It was so good. It was really good. I loved it. I had a great time. Are we gonna be seeing you on Sunday? What do you think is wrong for a parent and teacher to physically put it? Do I think it? Yes, I think it is. I think it's so wrong. You know why? Because it, like, children don't know any better. You think they're misbehaving, but they don't know any better, right? So if you don't know any better, how can you act better? It's a child, right? But so it's okay for me to hit a child and discipline a child, but lest I hit someone else. Like let's say I'm having a conversation in real life with one of you, right? And you say something and I hit you, is that okay? Should I punish you for you to get the thing? For you to get the lesson? No, right? So why would we do that to a child? You're traumatizing the child. Severely traumatizing it. You're disrupting its nervous system. So no, I don't think so. I think you need to have a lot of patience. Because I get it. I get children can really, really push you. But you have to, like it's one of those things you have to have so much patience. The British Empire stopped multiple African tribes practicing human sacrifices and selling their own people. Interesting. Also, well, I mean, they did. Okay, nice. Also, what do you think of the idea of ethical selfishness. It's a concept I've been exploring lately. I'm not familiar with it. Would you like to share a little bit more about it? Explain inner walls more, please. Like an inner world? Okay, so inner world would be, who are you, like, beyond your body, your thoughts, and your emotions? Who exists? The thing is, I won't go too deep with it because I think it takes steps, because eventually you realize there is no one, there is no self, there is only consciousness. But for someone who hasn't gotten there, what I would say is meditate, connect with yourself, do some sort of meditation, and focus your attention. Be aware of your attention. Be aware of the fact that you are not your mind. You know, you're not your thoughts. That will help initially. Have you tattooed your body? That's sinful. Okay, thank you. It's pain. It was painful. How is it a sin? I think judging others is one too. Yeah. Please don't get aligners. You've got a really beautiful smile. This is where you go. Thank you. Oh my god, I'm living in sin. Then I'm all down my left arm. Yeah, Greg, I did not know that you had so many tattoos till I saw them. You're gonna have to show us properly on Sunday what you have. I want to know the story behind them all, like what they mean to you. If there's if there's a deeper meaning to them. Sin. Bless him. If that's a sin, that's wild, you know. Yeah, it reminds me. I want to share something that I learned that is really let me open this up. No. Search chats. No. Open sidebar. That's it. Is it this one? Hold 20. Let me go. No. Oh. Okay. Where is it? Oh, gosh. Happy New Year French, maybe is that one? Wait, no, it's not that one. Coaching. So, what I was saying is that, in Indian culture, for example, like in Sikhism and stuff, there's a lot of talk about like if you eat meat and stuff and how you shouldn't eat meat. I think, I don't know, and no one's ever said anything to me, but I believe there is something. And it's funny because in Sikhism that exists, but Guru Nanak Ji, the founder, well, not the founder of Sikhism, because what he did was he was one with God, right? He didn't found a religion. Oh, is it working? Are we back? Okay, cool. Good. Oh no. Hi everybody. Can we back? Yes, we back. So everybody can see me, right? We're good? My brother decided to go turn off the Wi-Fi. Oh. Okay, absolutely. I only have one tattoo, but it's a full sleeve and there is a story behind it. I'm excited to hear that story. Some Indian women tattoo their bindi. That's so cool. I love tribal kind of tattoos. I really wanted so before when I was getting this done, the lady, she put dots with a pen down here and it looked really nice. And I thought, it just cheapens a person. Waheguru. Okay. Interesting. I love them. I don't really care. I don't think that I could ever get cheap or cheaper. I don't think my value will ever drop. So, okay. Because I think it's quite shallow to place someone's worth based upon what they have done to their body. Or like anything to do with anything outside of them. Everybody has inherent value because everybody is you, so yeah. We Indian cheap is a compliment. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I love that. But yeah, I was talking about Guru Nanak Ji, right? Oh, why can't I find it? I have found it. Okay, so but no, okay, so no, okay. No, my laptop just died. Great. I get offended when someone calls Jews cheap. Nah, it does. It's really interesting. I guess it's the like survival kind of survivor mode, right? As humans, like for example, I was speaking about safety and stability on my TikTok, so something that we'd spoken about in the satsang, and I thought, let me share this with everybody. And someone said, yeah, but there are so many people who don't live in this state. Maybe it's not possible to. And it's because our ancestors have only just got it good now, right? Our ancestors had it really tough. We had a lot of problems. And only now, I guess, we can kind of you don't understand. Well, you will. I'm not claiming it to be okay. You will. I'm not claiming it to be a sin. Why don't you get a tattoo that says that you're a British Empire kind of girl that happens to be genetically from India? I don't understand what that means. I don't get what you mean. I don't get it. I don't think it's that deep, to be honest, but you're entitled to your opinion. So if you wanna, that's cool. The thing is, I think the ego, right? Tattoos are cheap. Tattoos are a sin. I'm right. You're wrong. This is the only way. There can be no other way, right? That's the ego. That's your truth. If that's what you believe, then sure. Sure thing. Sure thing, my friend. But like Guru Nanak Ji said, he was speaking about people arguing about meat, whether you should eat meat or not eat meat, right? We can just kind of swap out tattoos for eating meat or not eating meat. And he said, look, you idiots are just wasting your time. Murak, that's what he calls them, idiots. He said, you idiots. Right? Only an idiot would sit here and discuss whether to eat meat or not eat meat. But, what do you know about dhyan and gyan? What do you know about wisdom and attention? Why are we so focused on things like tattoos when there are more, like, there are deeper things, more interesting things, more beneficial things to discuss or think about than something like tattoos? I mean, it's like saying, Priya, these earrings are a sin. Why are you wearing them? They make you look Indian, but you live in England. Yeah, right. Second generation of survivors of famine more prone to diabetes. Well, see, it's all in the history. But yeah, it's it's who you are, like your values, your character, the love you have, the compassion you have, the open-mindedness you have, things like that that add, well, not that value can ever be added to you or not, but I guess that add to your character. That are things that we should be taking note of, It's some people are so ridiculous that they get a sports team tattoo. That's what I'm saying. I get that, but who are we to question someone for what they get with their own body? Why like the happiest place you can be is minding your own business. When we judge others for what they do, I guess then it creates suffering in our lives. Like, I don't really care. They can get tattooed. They can get whatever they want tattooed on them, or they can't. You're like I said, you are you believe what you believe, Jeremy. You're completely entitled to that. Absolutely, like the interior of your vehicle. What? That's not interesting. God didn't give us a big nose to keep it to ourselves. No, I think God did. I think God just wanted us to I've always liked the term stay in your lane. You know, me too. Me too. See, I get it. I get why you'd be I guess you're not for them, because you, like, for example, that tells me a lot, you know? If you had a sticker between your eyes, it would what? Do you really think there's something like absolute morality? Cipriano, thank you for bringing us back on track. Absolute morality. You know, I don't know about that, but what I would say is that love, if you think through the lens of love, you can have that answer to everything. That's what I realized. You know, there are famous poets that say, oh, if you understand love, you understand everything. You don't need to read loads of books. If you understand what love is about, you got it. You got it, you know? Like we were saying, the highest level of devotion is love. It's ishq, right? It's passionate. Wait, how do I translate ishq? Ishq. Deep love. That's it. Deep, intense, consuming, soul deep love. There's no judgment. It declares what you value. It declares what you value. You're upset. You can go ahead and get addicted to getting tattoos for the endorphin rush. If a person says your ego is so upset, it's funny. When I grew up in Charlotte, it was Hell's Angels that had tattoos. Okay, nice. Thank you. On that note, I shall be departing. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.